here in the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, um, moving our Wednesday night services to the new building. Would that everybody be okay with that? So what I was thinking is this, that because, and we'd have to meet in the fellowship hall because the sanctuary is not ready yet, okay? Oh, well, I was just thinking because of the big countertop and all that stuff, that you could serve the food and we could actually have our tables set up in there and chairs, and I could be teaching while you guys eat, which will save a little bit of time. And then, you know, if people want to stick around for another 30 or 40 minutes afterwards and do a few little minor projects, you know. You know, there's always stuff to clean up or maybe touch up paint or do something, you know what I mean? But if we had, you know, if you just look at, okay, so if we have 10 people, I didn't count how many, but so if we had 10 people and we all stayed 30 minutes, that's 5 hours worth of work that got done. 5 man hours, you know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. It's just a thought. You guys would be okay if we did that? If we just started doing that on Wednesdays? So we don't have, you know, we don't really have a sound system or anything set up over there yet. I mean, we could probably make it a microphone and things like, I mean, but anyway, I don't know. That's the way my brain is thinking. That, and it'll take us a couple of weeks to get ready to do that. But if you guys can be thinking about maybe doing that, then we may do that here in 2 or 3 weeks. All right, we'll let you know. You heard right. You heard right. Yeah. So, anyway, right on. All right. Father, we just thank you for tonight. We thank you for everybody that's come, and we just thank you for the word to be shared tonight. The just casting of visions, what we're doing for the new property, new building, and Father, for everybody to be able to be partakers in this adventure. We call this an adventure, Father. We just thank you. But if not, there's still carpet upstairs that's got to be put down. So I told him that we would have a place for him to work regardless. And so carpet being put down, then we got a lot of trim that's got to be put down, trim that's got to be staying. I realize not everybody's a trim carpenter. You know, trim carpenters can make or break a whole project. So we're not asking you to put trim down if you don't know how to put trim down, right? But maybe just helping clean up, paint, or there's some things that can be touched up with paint. There's some things that could be maybe stained, those types of things. But we're making progress, and so if we can get some help to do that, then it'll speed us up getting in there. Right on? So, you know, last few weeks we've been talking about this stuff, and I'm going to just ask you, do what? Is this in your way? Can you see now? All right. So I asked you to be thinking about other things that we can put on this list, and things that will make a difference to people or new people, what's going to attract new people, and not just attract them, but retain them. Okay? We want a place for people to, this is called Connections Church for a reason. We want people to get connected. This is a place to get connected. And it's a place that we connect with one another. And it's a place that we can help people with their connection to God. That's the thing. That's the vision. And so we do that through different things that we can offer. And some of these things are just so that people can feel comfortable when they first even enter the property. All right? So like our youth out there, you know, they could be great parking lot attendants. You know, youth have a lot of energy, you know. And so if you can get them to participate and get them involved, first of all, when people pull in the parking lot, they see young people. And they see young people being involved. And that's a good thing. All right? So, yeah, you know, that attracts other young people. So these parking lot attendants, I was thinking about this, and I'm like, that's really part of the greeting team. I mean, it really is, because they're like first people that people see, right? So it starts there, starts when they pull on the property. And then also the greeter shouldn't be done when service is over. There should be another whole team. Hey, glad you came. Have a great week. Part of that is if you see somebody and and the Lord puts it on your heart, don't be afraid to say, hey, is there something we can pray with you about before you leave? Or, if there's a reason that sometimes people, you can read it on their face when they're going through stuff, right? We want people to be aware of that. And then obviously we want a place that everybody feels safe. So we want to make sure that we have a qualified, trained security team. All right. So does anybody have anything that felt like the Lord shared with them that they could be doing whenever we start this new church? I mean, we don't have to wait till we start the new church, but okay, wait a minute. Don't everybody do this at once, okay? Just one at a time. Yes. Yeah. That would be great. That's one of the things that's on my list. It's called follow-up. So when somebody comes, we need to make sure that they get, actually one of the things that I've been reading about church growth and retention is that they need a contact within 24 hours of the service. So how many knows that a mailed card's not going to get there within 24 hours? So we're in a different age so if we can, I like a mailed card to go in addition to that, but follow up with even just a text or email. Everybody's electronic nowadays. Electronic, text them, thank you for coming, or an email, or if we have somebody that can follow up with a phone call. Yep. Here's what I was reading is that a lot of those will go into a voicemail because if people don't recognize the number, they're not going to answer. Yeah. So, right. So, but knowing those things, because I've gotten to the point where if a number pops up that I don't recognize, I don't answer it anymore. I'm tired of dealing with. I've tried to limit all those calls, and maybe that sounds bad as a pastor, but I get way more spam calls than I do legit calls. And if it's a legit call, all you got to do is leave me a message, and I will call you back. So, but anyway, so follow up is one of those things. Anybody else got something that they feel like that they could do or they could help with? Do what? More cookies? All right. Yep. Can you make special deliveries or like follow up? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cookies are, that's part of, whenever we come in, we're having some sort of a treat or whatever. Yeah. So we. Yep. Yeah, I didn't see that until after the service. So yeah, just an acknowledgement for birthdays, anniversaries, those types of things. That is as good. If as we grow, probably won't be able to just speak all of those things, but it would really be good to have that up on the board. Happy birthday to, and show the ones that are coming up for that week or that it's in those types of things, especially if we have like a picture, because as we grow, people don't necessarily know everyone, but if you had Donna's picture up there with her name under there and happy birthday and that would be good, and then our media team could have that put up there during the announcements or whatever. So those are all great ideas. Yep, a new visitors thing. You keeping track of that? You keeping? I thought you were typing this. Okay. Okay. So I need to write some stuff down here. Let me try to get caught up. Okay. So I'm going to put follow up, and we know that that's not just cards, but like call or text, um, all of that inclusive. So follow up, and then gift, basket or bag. Yeah, we could autograph a photo or something and give it to me. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. No, my mom would steal it. Tambourine and flag painter. We do have those back there in the back, and it says you're invited. Yeah, there should be some back there on that thing, and if the ones are back there, we had two different sizes, and it would say you're invited, and then there's a line on the bottom where you can put your name and your phone number, so that when they come, they can call or text you, and that way you can meet them. That way they know somebody here. That was kind of the thought behind that when we put that together. What else did we say there? Follow up? Birthday acknowledgement. Yeah. How about special occasion? Special occasion acknowledgement. Yes. And part of that, like sending out like a thank you or a card for people that come, would be maybe a birthday card. Send it so that it gets there before when you know the birthday's coming up. You know. Yeah. Yeah. So that would be part of that as well. That's an awesome thing. Any other new stuff? Yep. No, I think that it'll pick up. I feel like, yeah, yeah. So really, what we need is like a training table back there in the back, where. Okay. Oh, I'll do it. Not me. I'm not very good with technology. Yeah. So you have to get some coaching on that. Okay. Typically, yep. typically we don't we don't have anybody on staff that stays, so there's not a set. Is there a follow-up question? Right. Right. That would be a good, that would be one of the good things for like maybe when we do the small groups, maybe we have a small group for that type of thing. So what we purposely did when we set up our church, that we only do a Sunday morning service and not Sunday evening, is because culture has changed. And sometimes Sunday is the only day that people have, okay? And as a pastor, I will tell you, I feel like family comes before church, okay? So we did Sunday evening off of church for people to focus on family time. So that's why we only do, but I can see where that would possibly be a place that people would like to connect. So if we look at maybe a small group around that time, maybe a Sunday evening group that could come back and talk, that would be fine. We would just have to find a group or a leader that's willing to do that. We're going to find people that as this grows, that have different family dynamics, and maybe they're not obligated on a Sunday evening, that would love to do that. And so we'll try to maybe keep that as an option. Different days of the week work because some people's work schedules are not just off on Saturday or on Sunday. Sometimes people's weekend is a Monday. They work all weekend, and then they don't, and then what's to go on church on a Monday? A lot of churches don't have anything. So we should try to figure out, where we're going to make the most impact, but keep in mind that culture is kind of fluid. It changes a lot, and we just need to be aware of those things so that we can make the most impact during the time that we have available. Bonnie? Okay. Have a drawing? Oh. So, like on Friends and Family Day, just like draw a name out of so we'd have to get everybody to sign up for that. Yeah. Yeah. So you want to give a $100 bill this next time, or? Oh, okay. I'm just kidding you. I'm just kidding. But so we could do it. We could do something. Yeah. Right on. So Sunday is Friends and Family Day. You have time. I mean, you want to try to put something together? So what? Okay. So there's some other things that we have to get in place before then, like how do we get everybody, like that means that somebody's got to get their names put in the thing when they come in. Two-part tickets, yeah, that'll work. Do we have any? Okay. You talk to Bonnie this week about maybe a drawing or something. Okay. All right. Anybody else, what they can, thinking that the Lord has kind of put on their heart that maybe you feel like that you can do? All right. Master of no trade, what can we have you do? We'll see. We'll see. All right, so here's the thing. I was looking at things that churches do to reach unchurched people. Let's see, what can churches do to reach typically unchurched people? You know, we shouldn't be trying to fish in another church's pond. We're not trying to take people away from other churches to bring them here. I mean, some of that's going to happen. I mean, just church people move back and forth, and that's okay. But you're not trying to target other Christians. We're supposed to go take this gospel to the world. All right? Which means we're going to attract some people that don't know anything about God or anything about religion. I love the fact that we're attracting people that don't know anything about religion. Okay? What's that? Go to the bar. Yeah, you can. Yeah. 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 Sure. Let's pray. Let's pray for Sam. Yeah. So here's the deal. You don't go minister in the bar if you struggle with alcoholism. Okay? If you struggle with addiction, you don't go into those places. You know that the Lord will take you to a place in your walk where you can go back in, so it doesn't bother me to be around people that are doing things like that. Used to, I would just be right with them. Right? Kind of a follower, just like, oh, well, you're drinking one, I'll take one. You know? But yeah. So, but we should be on mission all the time wherever we go, right? But there are community events that we could hold at the church that don't look like church type stuff. So one of the things that we are doing this fall is we're going to do a pumpkin patch, a community thing for kids. And we have a pumpkin patch planted out there, and we're praying for a big harvest. It's behind the building, and it's hidden by weeds. So it'll be like one of those things where you have to search for them. So it's an Easter egg pumpkin thing. You like look for them. But anyway, so Rhonda's trying, and she's doing a really good job. The pumpkin vines are really, really growing. There's a lot of blooms. But what I told her was, look, if they don't produce pumpkins, we'll go buy a bunch of pumpkins and set them out there, and the kids won't know necessarily. Because do you know that pumpkin patches do that? They just set the pumpkins out along the vines and stuff. Like they buy a lot of pumpkins, and they grow some. So if we have to do that, then we'll do that. But we're going to do a community event to draw kids from the area and have them come and get a pumpkin. All right? And so there's other things that we could do. Like I had somebody ask me once about doing a car show or a motorcycle show out there on the parking lot. We could do something like that. Host it and let people come in. A movie night. It didn't go over very well. Yeah, Sean picked a horrible movie. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. We did it did all right, so we could do that. And we do have a big blow-up screen, which we can do. We can do more movies when the weather gets a little better. I think that would be awesome. Anything else community-minded that we could do, like maybe an outdoor concert or something? I don't know. Visit people at the hospital? Yeah. 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 Right on. So the Live Nativity, we're planning to do another one this year. and hopefully it will be better than last year. And so we need some better, yeah, sowers and reapers, right? So yeah, and so honestly, I don't know if it's always been in the back of my mind to do a journey to Bethlehem like they used to do at Harvester Christian up in St. Charles or St. Peter's. Do you ever see that one? Do you ever go to that one? So that was a humongous event. But we have 10 acres over there, and we could do something like that. I've actually thought about doing not just a journey to Bethlehem, but a journey to the cross for Easter, and doing something similar where you would go through a different, like do this path that's kind of takes you on this journey that leads you to the cross and then to the tomb, right? So who knows? Like I said, we need more than 10 or 12 people, but I think it would be awesome. And if we started doing an event like that the community kind of grabbed a hold of and said, hey, let's go to that this year, and they plan ahead for this community event. I think that happened with Harvester Christian. People looked forward to it every year. It got so big they actually dismantled it. I think logistically it just became overwhelming, and I don't know what happened, but the vision fell apart, and they quit doing it. They actually gave a lot of those design sets for the different things. They gave those to different churches because I know some people that went up there and got some of those props. It was kind of sad to see all that happen, but yeah, it grows together because it's a camaraderie thing, and yeah, yeah, right. So right now, just to be transparent, we don't want to be this, but you have to till you get to a certain point. But right now, we've been kind of inward focused because we're building a building. So our focus is getting this facility up and running. You got to have a facility to be able to put the stuff on. But once you get those things in place, then you have to focus outward. So many churches never focus outward. It's always inward. All the money that they collect stays in the church. All of the money. I want to be able to give away 90% and survive on 10. That's what I want. But, yeah, we gave away a car at Christmas. I want to give away a whole trailer full of them. I mean, car hauler full of them. I think, that's one of the things that I think helps with the community stuff. And here we are, it's already, almost September. Listen, Labor Day's coming up. What we used to do every year was we used to do a tent at the Labor Day picnic. Now, the truth is, I've been so busy, I can't go over there and sit at the thing. But if we have people that would sign up and stay and man it during the day, what we could do is advertise the car giveaway at the Labor Day picnic and give people a chance to sow into it, donate towards it. If we could have the community be a part of it, or maybe we could do fundraiser drawings, like you could donate and have a drawing for a big screen TV, or do something else, where all the funds that are raised goes towards cars for Christmas. There's things that we can do, but yeah. And at the same time, we could give away bottled water and share the gospel, right? It's just it's being part of the community. There's also, you've got the parades that come up. Like we've got the Labor Day parade coming up. We have never had, a church float in the Labor Day parade, have we? We've done Christmas parades. Matter of fact, we won a prize. Did we ever go pick that up? No, they did call us back and say it really was us after I took the prize back. So anyway, yeah. So anyway. Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff, but we have to have people that are committed to stuff like that. These are all things that get our name out in the community. You know what? We may be in the parade 10 times before we ever draw people. But the first time they see us, they go, huh, I wonder where that's at. Second time they go, huh, I saw them at the other parade. Third or fourth time, they're like, I wonder what that's about. It's just like whenever you see a billboard on the highway, the first time you see it, you probably don't think anything about it. But after you see that thing 10 or 15 times and it's still there, you go, and then whatever the situation comes up, you go, if it's a car lot or whatever, you go, I wonder if I should call them or go stop by. Advertising is something that just keeps your name in front of people all the time. And parades are a good way to do it. And so it's also a fun way to get kids involved and adults too. So we just have to have enough people to be able to do it. What's that? Yes. Yeah, that's it. Honestly, everybody should go to our service, the live stream service. Everybody that's a member should like it and share it every Sunday. If everybody did that and just one person on your feed watched it, then we've expanded our impact, right? So not only that, but then other people, because of the way that the algorithm works, and that's been shared now, if you say let's just say we have 75 people in here, and we'll say half of them we'll just say there's 35 couples. So if it's shared 35 times, and then, just one time per couple even, that's still a lot. I'm just saying there's ways to get it out there. And I'm going to kind of wrap it up with just talking about connections. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about all that we do here is so that we can make a connection that makes a difference. And I want everybody in here probably has one of these devices. Okay? So let's just think about the connection. Okay? There's a connection that your battery, for one thing, if you don't get this battery charged, you're looking for, how many's ever been somewhere and went and bought a charger even though you've got chargers at home? Besides me. I have multiple chargers, okay? Because guess what? It's that important to you. All right? If we treated our church connection like we did our phone, we would stay connected way more often. We'd keep our battery charged. We wouldn't let it run down. All right? Then the other kind of connection that you have with your phone is your signal, right? So your signal strength is determined, or it's, let's just say that your signal strength obviously is affected by how close you are to the power source. The further you get away from that tower, the weaker that signal is. How does that relate with us and our church? I mean, God really, but church is the way that God's, we're part of what's called the great mystery. This is the church age. And we're living in a time when culture is really anti-church. Even Christians will say, I'm the church, I don't need to go to church. And there's a lot of people who have a lot of influence that are telling people these lies. And the enemy is really working through them. Now, you are part of the church. What you have to understand about church is this. The Greek word for that is ecclesios. Okay? And ecclesios is a plural word, not a singular. So what that means is you are not the church, but you are part. You are part of the church. It also says that we are all members of one body. A thumb is not a body. It's a part, but you by yourself are like a thumb or a finger. You're not a hand or a whole body. You are one member. So the ecclesios is the assembling of all of these different parts. And you need to assemble because that's the way God designed it. Okay? So we have to get past the point where people have this anti-church thing. And I understand why people aren't thrilled to go to church. I get it. Because church has done a whole lot of damage to people. Some of the most damage that a lot of people get is by church people. Come on. But it's not God. Okay? Do you know that the enemy is alive and well in the church? The enemy is alive and well anywhere people are. Okay? And so what we have to do is we have to maybe make sure that we stay connected to the church, connected to God. And how do we do that? Through a regular attendance or connection, but making sure that we are following the Word of God. Everything in the church has to line up with this. We don't do things. All of these things, I mean, there's nothing in here about a parking lot or a greeter. Unless it says greet one another with a holy kiss. But don't do that at the front door. That might scare people off. Right? So, but everything that we do here, we're trying to do that in align with the Word. Is how can we share the gospel, right? So whenever we're thinking about all of these things, and this is the last night really I'm going to talk about this, I want you guys to be thinking about how we can now implement it. It's good to talk about it, but you know what? If we can take one or two of these ideas and start implementing them, then we've made progress. We can talk about 100 things we could do, and if we didn't do any of them, then we didn't make any progress. We just talked and wasted time, right? Because I didn't share any scripture tonight. This is strategic planning meetings, what it is, on how we can be more effective on sharing the gospel. All right? And so, making sure here. Connections. In the cell phone industry, it's called the network. The network. Well, with God, there's a network. And the network is really the connections that we build within this body of people. And it is not, there are people that come to church on a regular basis that are not connected. They're just attending, and it's like, but they never, ever really make a connection that matters. And so they miss a week, nobody calls. They miss 2 weeks, it's like, did anybody even notice? That's why the follow-up is good. Like, not just new people, but if somebody's gone and we don't, just to say, hey, missed you Sunday, accountability. Yeah, we can't do it all for them, but it is good to at least hear from somebody, Yeah, and I've had people get upset that I didn't call or I didn't text, but they didn't call me or text me either, and I didn't know if they were in the hospital or whatever. And so I can't do all of those things by myself. those are the reasons that we need other people in place to follow up. And so those are all things that people could get plugged in and help us with. Now, at the risk of throwing us out there and opening up a big can of worms, just being real, what do you not like about the way that our church is set up now? What would you change? If there was anything, if there was one thing that you could change, what would you change? Okay. Is that room generally full? You know, one of the things we could probably do is take those tables out to get more chairs in there to make it where it's not crammed. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's too right. So maybe a sign, a big sign that says Sunday school in here, something like that. That maybe we could have one printed that looks nice and put on that glass, and put the time. One of the things I would like to see is that you guys end that before service has started, so that people have time to get in here. Because I know that a lot of times I can hear the music start before, and people are still in that room. So, communion baskets. Um, yeah. Good. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. We could, because we got an open spot back there. That would make sense. Yeah. I like that. Um, what about the communion stuff, Bonnie? We leave one of them up there, but maybe we put one back there by the offering thing back in the back also, so that people can, if they don't want to come forward, they can go back there. That that would be all right. Good. Yep, it does. But everybody's at a different place, you know, and so we want to make sure that we try to make it as accommodating for everybody as possible, because there are some people that would feel really uncomfortable, and then there would be other people that would be the complete opposite. So giving options is good. I like that. Yep. So anything that we don't do right now that you would like to see? Speaker back there. Speakers is where you can hear. That's in the process for the new building. There's not really a reason to go through logistically to run wires and stuff like that. But the new building should have speakers um, in each of the restrooms, and hopefully even like in that hallway, so that if people have to step out, that they're not. I mean, that's the way that it is over at Karis. I mean, you don't like if you have to go out, then you're not going to miss everything. So, yeah, yeah, but you don't have to miss it all. Yeah, right on. All right. Well, we're a little bit over, but anyway, you can kind of see where we're tracking, which direction that we're headed, and I'm excited because we're getting closer over there all the time. It's looking good, isn't it, Sam? Sam's been helping us over there, and it's yeah, it's been good. We got I don't know if you guys drive out that way, but we got the new front doors in on the fellowship hall, and man, they look sharp. So when we get the new siding up, especially, it's going to look really, really good. So anyway, all right. Anything else before we? Leftover pizza, grab some food. Yeah. All right. Did you guys hear that? Somebody get some food and take it out of here so that she's not having to throw it away. Right on? Okay. All right. Somebody want to close us out in prayer? Paul, why don't you close us out?